What if your father wasn't just famous, but a global icon, a legend whose shadow is so massive that escaping it feels almost impossible? This is the story of the children of Shaquille O'Neal, a man whose name echoes far beyond basketball courts, from business empires to luxury lifestyles to worldwide fame. But today, we're not just talking about Shaq. We're diving deep into the lives of his 6 children, their lifestyles, their struggles, their ambitions, and the truth about growing up under one of the biggest names in sports history. With a net worth estimated at over $400 million, Shaquille O'Neal didn't just dominate the NBA, he built an empire. From endorsement deals to businesses to real estate and luxury investments, Shaq created a life most people can only dream of. But for his children, that dream comes with pressure. Because when your father is larger than life, the world expects you to be just as great. Meet the next generation of the O'Neal legacy. 6 different personalities, 6 unique journeys, all connected by one powerful name. Some chose sports, some chose entertainment, and some chose to step away from the spotlight completely. But one question always follows them. Can they create their own identity? Or will they always be known as Shaq's kids? Let's start with Shareef O'Neal, the son who followed directly in his father's footsteps. From a young age, Shareef showed incredible potential in basketball. Tall, athletic, and naturally gifted. Many believed he could become the next big NBA star, but his journey hasn't been easy. In fact, it's been filled with challenges that could have ended his career before it even began. At just 18 years old, Shareef was diagnosed with a serious heart condition, a moment that shocked fans around the world. For most athletes, that could mean the end of everything, but not for a fighter. After undergoing major heart surgery, Shareef made an incredible comeback, returning to the court with determination and strength, proving that his story wasn't just about talent, it was about resilience. While he hasn't reached the same level of dominance as his father in the NBA, Shareef continues to build his own path in basketball and entertainment. From college basketball to professional opportunities, he's still chasing greatness, but on his own terms. Next, we have Amirah O'Neal, a rising star in women's basketball. Unlike many expected, Shaq's daughters are just as competitive as his sons, and Amirah is proving exactly that. With impressive skills on the court, strong work ethic, and a growing fan base, she's carving out her own identity in sports. But here's where things get interesting. Not all of Shaq's children chose sports. Some stepped into the world of fashion, social media, and entertainment. And their lifestyles, let's just say, they're just as fascinating as their father's empire. From luxury homes to exotic cars to private family moments hidden from the spotlight. The O'Neal family lives a life that blends fame with privacy in a way few families can. But behind the success, there are untold stories, struggles, expectations, and the constant challenge of living up to a legendary name. So what about the rest of Shaq's children? Who are they really? What do they do? And how much of their father's massive fortune will shape their future? Growing up as the child of Shaquille O'Neal isn't just about fame, it's about expectations. And for some of his children, the spotlight didn't come from basketball courts, but from a completely different world. Meet Myles O'Neal. Unlike his siblings, Myles didn't choose sports. Instead, he stepped into fashion, music, and entertainment. With his unique style, confidence, and strong presence on social media, Myles quickly built his own identity. From walking runways to DJing at high-profile events, he transformed himself into a lifestyle icon. And while many might assume his success came easy, Myles has worked hard to prove that he's more than just Shaq's son. Then there's Shaqir O'Neal, another son carrying the basketball dream. With impressive height and athletic ability, Shaqir has been steadily developing his skills on the court. While comparisons to his father are inevitable, Shaqir is focused on building his own journey. Different style, different pace, but the same hunger for success. And let's not forget Amirah O'Neal, one of the youngest rising stars in the family, already showing serious promise in basketball. Amirah is gaining attention for her powerful gameplay and confidence. Many believe she could become one of the most successful athletes in the O'Neal family. and perhaps even redefine the legacy. But here's what makes the O'Neal family truly different. Despite his massive wealth, Shaquille O'Neal has never believed in simply handing success to his children. In fact, he has one very strict rule. You're not rich, I'm rich. That mindset has shaped how his children view money, success, and independence. Instead of relying on their father's fortune, they're encouraged to build their own careers, their own brands, their own identities. Of course, growing up in a wealthy family does come with certain luxuries. The O'Neal children have experienced life most people only see on social media. Luxury homes, private travel, designer fashion, and access to opportunities around the world. From stunning mansions in places like Los Angeles and Miami to high-end lifestyles filled with comfort and convenience. They've seen the best of what success can offer. But with luxury also comes pressure. The pressure to succeed, the pressure to prove themselves, and the pressure to step out of one of the biggest shadows in sports history. For some, that journey is about embracing the spotlight. For others, it's about finding peace away from it. And then there's the sixth child, a part of Shaq's life that remains more private compared to the others. A reminder that not everything about the O'Neal family is meant for the public eye, because even in a world of fame, some stories are kept personal. So what does all of this mean for the future of Shaq's legacy? Will his children surpass his success, or will they choose completely different paths? And how much of his $400 million empire will shape their lives moving forward? In the next part, we break down the O'Neal family's net worth, luxury lifestyle, cars, and future legacy. Because this isn't just about fame, it's about what comes after it. When you hear the name Shaquille O'Neal, one thing immediately comes to mind. Power, not just on the basketball court, but in business, wealth, and lifestyle. Because Shaq didn't just retire as an NBA legend. He evolved into something even bigger. A global brand with an estimated net worth of over $400 million. Shaq has built one of the most impressive post-sports empires in the world. From endorsement deals with major brands to owning businesses like restaurants, gyms, and investments across industries. His income doesn't just come from one place. It flows from everywhere. And this financial empire has created a life of luxury, not only for him, but for his entire family. Let's talk about the lifestyle. Shaq is known for owning multiple stunning mansions across the United States. From a massive estate in Orlando to luxury properties in Los Angeles and Atlanta, his real estate portfolio reflects his larger-than-life personality. We're talking about homes with private theaters, indoor basketball courts, massive pools, and custom-designed interiors built for comfort and style. For his children, this means growing up surrounded by luxury most people can only imagine. And then come the cars, because what's a superstar lifestyle without an insane car collection? Shaquille O'Neal is famous for owning some of the most unique and customized vehicles in the world. From oversized luxury SUVs built to fit his 7-foot frame, to high-end sports cars like Lamborghinis, Rolls-Royces, and custom trucks. Shaq's garage is nothing short of extraordinary. And while his children enjoy access to this lifestyle, they're also taught something important. Luxury is earned, not given. Despite all the wealth, Shaquille O'Neal has remained focused on one key principle: independence. He has openly said that his children must work for their own success, that they need education, discipline, and ambition. Because in his eyes, true legacy isn't about money. It's about what you build for yourself. And that philosophy is clearly shaping the future of his children. Shareef O'Neal continues chasing basketball dreams despite setbacks. Myles O'Neal is building a name in fashion and music. Amirah O'Neal, Shaqir O'Neal, and Amirah O'Neal are each carving their own unique paths, different dreams, different lifestyles, but all connected by one powerful legacy. But here's the real question. What happens next? Will the O'Neal children take over the empire? Will they build something even bigger? Or will they choose completely different lives away from the spotlight? Because being the child of a legend isn't just a privilege, it's a challenge. At the end of the day, the story of Shaquille O'Neal and his children isn't just about fame, money, or luxury. It's about legacy. A legacy that is still being written every single day. For decades, Shaq dominated basketball, built a global brand, and created a financial empire that most can only dream of. But his greatest investment has never been his businesses or mansions. It has always been his family. Each of his children represents a different path, a different personality, and a different vision of success. Shareef O'Neal continues to fight for his place in the basketball world, proving resilience after life-threatening challenges. Myles O'Neal is redefining success through fashion, music, and creativity. Meanwhile, Amirah O'Neal, Shaqir O'Neal, and Amirah O'Neal are building their own futures step by step, that each carrying pieces of their father's determination. But what makes this story truly powerful is not just their success, it's the pressure behind it. Imagine growing up knowing the world expects greatness from you, not because of who you are, but because of who your father is. That pressure can break people. But for the O'Neal family, it has become motivation. Instead of relying on their father's $400 million empire, they are learning to create their own paths, their own identities, and their own stories. And that's exactly what Shaquille O'Neal wanted all along. He didn't want his children to simply inherit wealth. He wanted them to understand its value, to work for it, earn it, to respect it. Because in his eyes, true success isn't measured by how much money you have, but by how strong you become without depending on it. And as we look toward the future, one thing is clear. The O'Neal legacy is far from over. Whether it's through basketball, entertainment, business, or completely new ventures, Shaq's children are slowly stepping out of his giant shadow and into their own spotlight. And maybe, just maybe, one day, the world won't just see them as Shaq's kids. They'll see them as legends in their own right. Because being born into greatness is one thing, but proving it to the world, that's a completely different story. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lives, lifestyle, and legacy of Shaquille O'Neal's children, make sure to subscribe to Life of Legends for more powerful celebrity stories, net worth breakdowns, and luxury lifestyles. Because behind every legend, there's a story the world hasn't fully discovered yet.